Here I am. Where are you? I'm 4 minutes early. Oh, there you go. Hi, Debbie Sue. What's your name? INFJ. Hi, Carol. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Penny. You're pretty close to being the first one. There's 4 other people. 3 other people besides you. All the important people are here. There's Connie. Kim. Hi, Kim. Kim is INFJ. Simply Debbie Sue is she must be in the car on her way home from a doctor's appointment. Hi, Laura. Laura's here. She says hi. Sandy C says hi. Oh, Sandy, I'm glad. I don't think you were on the last time, were you? There's Joshua. Hey, Joshua. It's Cynthia. I've been waiting for you to come on. Suzanne, hi. Judy from Eastern North Carolina, and Ann. Hi, Ann. Now, for all of those that don't know, Ann Redmond there is my friend that I'm always talking about. She's the one we did the garden tour. She's the one that we went on the picnic with that I never showed you. Lady Luger, hi. She's from Michigan. Karen. There's Faithy. Before we get too started, I would like to ask you to make sure you like, because we need the likes. Sandy, you did miss last week. I'm doing good, but I'm not sure I like these scheduled lives because I've been nervous all day long waiting for it. If something goes wrong or I can't figure out what to do, and I never told Dustin that I was doing it, so I can't call him at the last minute. Oh my goodness, Woody is here. Watch out, everyone. He'll be making sure I do everything. Faithy says, make sure you like and subscribe. Please do. We have 22 people on and only 12 likes. Hi, Kim. Looks like the gang is back in the house around the table. Hi, Paula from Minnesota. And they're saying hello to you. Woody says, I worry too much. Woody, you're the only one who makes me worry. I'm trying to keep you happy. Joshua, thank you for giving me a like. Karen says, someone grab Woody a rocking chair. Woody is not that old. Kim says hi. Plain vanilla grandma. Hi, everyone, she says. Ann says hello, everyone. Laura says good afternoon, everyone. Kim saying hi, Faithy. Laura's daughter, Sandy, is 53 today. Happy birthday, Sandy. Woody, you're wondering why you need a rocking chair. We're teasing you. Don't you know that? Carol says, happy Thursday, everyone. It's beautiful here. I don't know what the weather is like where you are, but it's fabulous here. So I would assume Michelle, she says hi. Penny O'Brien says hi, everyone, and Sandy C says hi, everyone. Kim took her message off. She didn't want us to see it. Connie says, haha, I love rocking chairs. Now here's Woody again. Did I water my plants? I do everything you tell me, Woody. Did I say it was Wednesday, Woody? He always catches me, but if I ever do anything wrong, he catches me. Kim says, Woody did leave that nice, that a girl comment. He leaves quite a few good comments. You have to understand how to read them. Lady Luger, Thursday. It's only Tuesday. Did I really say Thursday? See, well, I've told you all along that I'm an old lady and I forget things. So, oh well, it's Tuesday. But my point was, when I was saying that, I was waiting all day long to do this live. I think it was better when I woke up in the middle of the night and did one. What do you think? Paula, she needs this break because she's doing too much Amazon Prime Day shopping. Trying not to, but the deals are good. Paula, now didn't we just do a video on saving money and not spending? Simply Debbie Sue says she's losing signal. She'll see us when she gets home. Woody says hi, Laura. Faithy, thank you. I can always count on you. Tuesday or Thursday, tomatoes or potatoes. What's the difference? Lady Luger, you're older than me. Do you ever do kinds of things like that? Joshua wants to know if I know about a nighttime parade at Disney World, if I ever heard of it yet. Actually, no, Joshua, I haven't heard that there's a new parade, but I've seen the old parade long, long time ago. Have you seen the new parade? Faithy just came off. Faithy, did you buy more stuff? Oh, Connie says, no, I don't. To Woody, I don't do everything he tells me. I said no to the towel suggestion. I did say no. I mean, I have to draw the line somewhere, you know. It's not like he's ever going to see them again, right, Woody? Michelle, great job decluttering. Well, you know, Michelle, when you look at that bathroom, it looks like there's more stuff, but there isn't. And someone said they wish that I had shown them all the bag trash. Well, I had it. It took me a month to do it. So I had all the trash bags. I had them all lined up. Then I put them on the porch. Then somebody got into them and I said, forget it. I'm not doing that anymore. We only have 24 likes. Is that all you people think of me? Woody, I mean, Joshua is reminding me that he is blind. Joshua, I think he's 20 years old. I'm sure he will correct me if I'm wrong. And he's blind and he's autistic. And he joined us a couple of weeks ago, and he has a lot to say on our videos, on our chats. What is this called? A live. Michelle says, I make you laugh. I don't think I've been as funny lately. But stay tuned to the video tomorrow. Hopefully you'll laugh then. So, I'm going to try to get back to being funny because I think people like that. Janine says, I loved when you said toodles one day. It should be your signature sign-off each day. I might do that. Toodles. I think that's cool. Oh, Joshua, I'm sorry. I said he was 20 and he's 25. And he wishes I would remember it. Joshua, I'm trying really hard to remember it. Sometimes I make mistakes, and if you stick around long enough, you'll see. Before I said Tuesday, I said Thursday instead of Tuesday. Faithy says, Joshua is a sweetheart. And Woody says hi to you. He says, hi, Josh. Woody's glad you're here. Susan is here. Susan Turner, she says hello to me and everyone. And Kim said, I thought the same thing about Toodles. Toodles. Michelle says she says Toodles too. Do you know in that decluttering thing, people had commented and they said that they had the same sink cabinet and that they had the same medicine cabinet. How weird is that? Oh no. Connie had a tooth extraction. Gone wrong. Dry socket. She saw the dentist this morning and he gave her clove oil. Oh my goodness. Do you remember when you were, I guess you wouldn't remember when you were a baby, but I remember clove oil. I think dentists have used clove oil for a long time. Peanut says love. Love it. Woody says, Josh, let's keep Cindy in line. You got to watch her closely. I'm not even going to comment. I'm not going to comment on that. Joshua says the new nighttime parade at Disney World is called Disney Starlight Dream. Dream the night away. Do you like the name? Yes, I like the name. I like to dream the night away. I do. I like to dream. I like to dream about doing things that I can't do or things that I want to do. How about you, Joshua? Hi, V. Thank you, honey. You say that all the time. I appreciate it. Pam's story for humans. How are you enjoying your new and improved bathroom? Well, I have to tell you a funny story about that bathroom. I guess it has to go with my memory. But I did that whole bathroom over. And I did it over the same way it was before I did it over the last time. When I got sick of it and I didn't like it. And it doesn't really fit with this campy-like house, but it is what it is. I think it looks really nice. You can go in there and you can pretend you're like in a mansion or something, not on a camp in the lake. Whenever Lady Luger, whenever she talks to her old high school friend on the phone, she always says, toodle-too, toodle-oo, when we hang up. Kim says she likes to dream the night away sleeping. A lot of people on this channel have a tough time sleeping. Even though we've talked about things that we could do to help with the sleeping. But I sometimes have a challenge sleeping myself, so I can't really give you any advice, except no caffeine. Joshua says we all dream too, and there's a song, When You Wish Upon a Star, at the beginning. And there's a blue fairy, you know who she is, Tinkerbell. Joshua, is it Tinkerbell? Sandy says she thinks my house is so cool. Sandy, I think your swimming pool is so cool. Woody wants to know how we ended up in this town and buying our house. Well, it's kind of a long story. We owned a campground before we purchased this house, and we were getting to retire. My husband ran the campground, and he was getting older. He was 6 years older than I am, five and a half, something like that. And I always wanted to have oceanfront property. Well, I cannot afford oceanfront property. So I started looking at lakes. And I said to him one day, honey, would you like to go and look at this house that I found? He says, well, we're not in the market for shopping for houses. But he usually wanted to please me, and we went and we looked at this house. When we came in, it's very small. It had black paneling, it had a red shag rug, and it had windows that had double panes, but they were regular glass. They weren't thermopane windows, so it was all steam and everything. It was pretty bad, moldy. But then we started looking. He didn't realize we started looking at houses, and finally we kept coming back to this one because it was only one room. So it's basically one room, one bathroom, and one bedroom. So we decided we could see the potential here, and so we bought it and we did it over. And he passed away a couple years after we bought it. This was going to be our retirement home. Faithy says the only way she can go back to sleep is when she prays. It works every single time. You're only getting 2 hours of sleep, Faithy. That's not good. Sandy C says it's Pinocchio fairy. What do you mean? And Pinocchio's not a fairy, is he? Robin Hood says hello. And Pam's Stories for Humans, she says, no, it's the blue fairy from Pinocchio. Joshua says, the blue fairy does stay in the parade. She says, come with me, my dear friends, come with me on a magical journey, kissed by starlight. You never heard her say that before. Maybe I should incorporate that into my channel. Join Senior Insights and you will be kissed by starlight because you'll never sleep again. Karen says, didn't you do the same thing with the house as you did with the boat? Suggested them to him, if her memory was correct. Well, he really wanted the speedboat. You know, I didn't know what kind of boat I wanted. I just wanted a boat. So we got it. But the boat story is funny. You folks who haven't listened to that, you should listen to that. I forget what the name of it is. Woody wants to know, where did I live when we were running the campground? We lived at the campground. The campground had a apartment above the main building, and we lived up there. It was really nice. Before, we bought it in the winter, and we would come up every weekend from Massachusetts. It'd be like a 4.5-5 hour ride, and we would we'd feel like we were going on vacation, like to a hotel or something. So we fixed up that apartment, and when we stayed there, we had a place to stay. But then we lived there. We lived there for 11 years. Faithy says it's 80 degrees. Sandy says, oh, at least you got some time together. That's true. It's absolutely true. And he loved it here. So that's a good thing. Robin Wood says, Miss Faithy, you are a very kind lady and always welcoming to this channel. Thank you. I'd like to say thank you to Faithy too, because she's a good cheerleader. She reminds everybody to like and to subscribe, and we appreciate it. She saves seats. She's the secretary. She's the treasurer. She does everything. Lady Luger, you didn't see the hole in the bathroom wall that you talked about? Well, then you must have shut off too early. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. There's only one person who found it. And she's kind of like Woody is. She doesn't miss a trick. It was near there's two pictures like over where the sink cabinet is. On the top picture, right on the side of it, that's the hole where the other one was, or I put that one in. But I'm going to use the toothpaste method. Did anyone else see the hole? Joshua wants to know, do you like the old Disney movies versus the new ones? Yes, I don't like the new ones. I like the old ones. I like the old cartoons, and I like the old movies, and I like the stories that they've taken off. Robin, she's the lady that wrote to Revlon. She needs to do it again. You know, we're kind of getting off the kick of Cherries in the Snow. I don't know what's happening. So we'll have to start talking about it. That'll be another thing that Woody will get annoyed with. Woody, I see your question. It says, did you have kids? But I don't, yes, I have 3 children, but I don't know if you were asking if they worked at the campground or not. Yes, with the second husband. I have 3 children. Yep. You know what I did the other day? I finally made those double chocolate muffins. So they came out pretty good, but you know what? I forgot to put the vanilla in. Even though I had it all lined up, I forgot it. Woody says, Lady Luger says, good on the toothpick message. Woody says, did you see my solution about using 3M command hook picture hooks? You got to see the back of these pictures. They wouldn't work. Honest. I tried some small ones and I couldn't do it. Partially because I could not do the measuring. Laura, you've had 4 cups of coffee today. Aren't you one of the people that has a hard time sleeping, Laura? Do you think that might affect your sleeping? Lady Luger says, good on the toothpaste method, worked in jail, and that's what the inmates used. Woody does not want to talk about Cherries in the Snow. We are going to talk about it. Joshua says, the parade at Disney World does tell us a story too. Janine, we are blessed to have this channel. Thank you, Janine. I'm blessed to have you. I don't think I tell you enough how much I appreciate you, because you guys have changed my life, and you make me happy, and I feel like I have friends. That's what I asked you to be on that first video that I did. Karen says, boy, there's a lot of wood at this meeting. I will try, Penny, to post that recipe. I think it actually, well, I don't know if it's in the posts or if it's in the description of the video. Woody, he says we all forget about adding vanilla at some point. I suppose that's true. I always forget something. I always get disappointed. Woody, do you cook? Christy's having a cup of tea. Christy, are you Christy D? Laura says yes, insomnia. Oh, Penny O'Brien says, uh-oh, Laura, you're getting yourself into trouble. A specialty, Christy? Joshua says, I bet Faithy has her own magic in her. I think that Faithy does. What do the rest of you think? I think that she's got her own magic. Janine says, what is the toothpaste method? Well, if you have you know how you use spackle to fill a hole in the wall? You can use toothpaste. It dries hard and it dries just like spackle. Oh, Woody, he says, no, they're like Velcro. Can't you just hear him saying these comments? You bought the wrong ones. There are ones that don't have hooks. Well, I don't need them now, Woody. I have it all hung up. I had a heck of a time, though. You should have told me about those before. I did the ones with the hooks. Susan Turner, she's in England. Woody says, yes, he's an excellent baker and he has a degree in it and he's a good cook. Well, Woody, how come you never bring us anything to eat at the board meeting? I don't know if I said hi to Evie, but hi, Evie. Faithy does concur that the toothpaste works good, but she wasn't even in prison to know that. Judy B. says, the bathroom clutter video inspires her to toss and sort. More of those before and after. Well, the next thing I'm going to tackle is my laundry room. I've already done it before. Obviously, it's just one small space because my laundry room is in a closet. But there's a lot of stuff in it, you will see. And Evie says, Cynthia, it's not all about Woody. I'm here too. I'm sorry, Evie. I didn't mean to make you feel so bad. Kim is in Prince Edward Island. Oh, Nancy's finally here. Pat K says, I knew I should have set my alarm. Maya says, good to see you. Maya says that she and I cleaned our bathrooms at the same time. I hope I inspired you. It was hard work, wasn't it? Did you work as hard as I did? It was tough. Evie feels better now that I acknowledged her. Do you guys watch Evie's channel? She has a great channel, and Plain Vanilla Grandma. Watch the video tomorrow. See who I talk about. Oh, Christy calls the laundry room a laundry nook. That must be what it is, a laundry nook. Faithy says, LOL, Evie, I love you. Nancy says her house is clean and organized. It's her garage that's awful. Well, Nancy, maybe you should get in that garage. Woody says the laundry room is fine. Your sisters already saw the dirty laundry on the floor. Hey, I got to tell you something. Somebody asked me, Evie asked me, and then someone, and then Plain Vanilla Grandma asked me, what did you do with the ice cream maker? Do you know what I did? I put it back on the shelf where it was after I did the video. Don't tell anybody. I confess, I'm real. You got to admit, I am real. Maya said I did a better job than her. No. Oh, Sue's home. Debbie Sue's home, finally. Connie says, Evie, I said hi and waved the flag and jumped up and down. Penny says, Cynthia, are you reading any good books now? Well, you know what, Penny? I have been reading one book a day for the last several days. You know, since I took that day off, I don't know what to do with myself. So I'm reading. Could I tell you what I'm reading? Well, I haven't started my new book, but I'm not sure that anyone here would be interested in what I'm reading, but they do keep you busy. Pat Kay says, well, that's great. No one saved me a muffin. Woody's going to bring him the next time. Caro from Plain Vanilla Grandma, she's having her first cataract surgery tomorrow at 2. Prayers welcome. Oh, I wanted to pray for, or at least ask you to lift her up in your prayers, Lorelei. I don't know if you know Lorelei, but she's a subscriber here and she comments all the time. She lives in Rhode Island, but she's a caregiver for her parents. And her father just had a bad stroke. So she's out straight and she doesn't handle stress well. So she needs some prayers. She needs us, is what she needs. Carol, you're going to do fine with the cataracts. Don't be nervous. Penny says, I'm a bookworm. Well, I've always been like that. My mother used to say, get out of your room and stop reading. But I used to read Nancy Drew and Sue Barton and all those things, and it was kind of a way to escape. You know? Nancy, what did you order for books today on Prime Days? So Woody says, do you remember the Hitchcock Mystery Magazine? I only remember the movie The Birds and his introduction music. I can't remember it. Christy will be praying for everyone. Why is Woody apologizing to Evie? Thank you, Sandy, for praying for Lorelei. Wasn't Nancy Drew? Karen says Nancy Drew was the best. I had those books. They were hardcover books, and I think they were 49 cents each. I could be wrong, because sometimes I forget, sometimes I exaggerate, but it is what it is. And Penny's having surgery next Friday, so we have to remember to pray for her. Well, hopefully we're still stopping at noon and praying, and I don't even think you really need to know anyone's name. You can still pray. But she's having a procedure to find out what the blockage is in her biliary duct near her gallbladder. Laura says praying too for Israel and the hostages. Laura's going to look, Nancy's going to look and she's going to tell us what books she has. Lady Luger says she loved Nancy Drew. Susan, you love the Hardy Boys? I never read the Hardy Boys. Pam says, Yeah, she totally relates to escape through reading, but her mom would always find her and put her to work. Woody says that his Hitchcock Mystery Magazine was great. Connie says, prayers for an easy peasy cataract surgery. Maybe we should incorporate those words, easy peasy. Karen says, oh, the birds, that traumatized me. I bet it wouldn't now if you watched it, because the movies today are so graphic and so real that it would probably look folk to us. Thank you, Christy, for praying for Lorelei. And Woody, we always pray for Woody. Debbie Sue's back. She's praying for Lorelei and Penny and Carol and everybody. Evie liked the Hardy Boys. Who read Sue Barton, Nurse? I'm shouting. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. We just lost a lot of viewers. What's going on? Nancy ordered One Golden Summer. That's one of the books she ordered. And The Midnight Library, and it starts with us. Catherine says that Karen says she had cataract surgery on both her eyes and they were easy peasy. Christy, are you asking me if my bunkhouse has running water? Or are you asking someone else about the boathouse? Because I'm not quite sure. My bunkhouse that Anne thinks is her bedroom does not have running water. It had, I have it set up, I have a little room that's set up like a bathroom. It has a curtain so you can use it as a dressing room in privacy, and there's a commode in there. Now the bunkhouse has been there for several years and no one has ever used the commode. Penny wants to know where my props have been. Penny, the only one I've had lately is my coffee cup when I sometimes, well, actually I've only done it once where it was empty, but I told you that. I think I should get another cigar though. I liked using the cigar. Joshua wants to know if I know how big Disney World is. I have no clue. And Debbie Sue did read Sue Barton. Yay, Debbie Sue. Janine says lives with me are exciting. Aren't they a blast? That's because we're very exciting people in this group. Carol says she had it. Oh, Nancy has the original Dr. Kildare books. Remember when I did that video on Dr. Kildare that I told you I had a crush? I never knew he had books. Somebody else said they had a purse. Was that you, Nancy? You said you had a purse? Oh, Anne is here butting in. She says, please to refer to it as my bedroom, not the bunkhouse. I'm sorry. I don't know if she was even asking about the bunkhouse. But now Christy says yes, she was. And I don't know if that's Christy D or not either. Joshua, you subscribe to Plain Vanilla Grammar, by the way. She's cool. She is cool. Connie had a crush on Dr. Kildare, too. Penny says, haha, you wore the cigar out. You loved that prop. A cigar and Toodles. I think you've got it. But I have to get, like, either a real cigar or a wooden cigar, because that was a bubblegum cigar, and you could smell it, and it smelled really good, and I ended up chewing it. We have, who said, Laura says, I'll be the new George Burns. Well, I have a picture of one of our subscribers. She sent me, and she is dressed as as George Burns. I cannot find it because I wanted to post it. She looks exactly like him. It was really good. Well, Nancy, now Nancy says, yes, I told you when you said I had the books. I can't remember that. I didn't even remember to put the vanilla in the muffins yesterday. How can I remember? I remember you have a tortoise. Super Woody. Woody thinks that I should have friends over to participate in the posts, maybe interviews, neighbors and friends. Well, I have a policeman friend who asked me if he could join me one time to do a video on safety for the elders, scams and all that. And I thought about it, but I don't know if you would be interested in that. But so that's one person. I have very few neighbors. I have gay, and that's it. And I have no friends. Except you guys. I'm kidding. I do have friends, but you know who I want to interview is my daughter, Erica. But she did send me some pictures that I'm going to post. They're pictures. She went hiking on Cadillac Mountain or someplace in Acadia, and she sent me the pictures, and I asked her if I could show them, and she said sure. So Christy knew two sisters who fixed up a garage, and they live in a resort town. They rented it out for weeks at a time to pay for their property. That's a good idea. I'm glad you clarified that it is Christy D. Thank you. Faith says, oh my goodness, can you imagine her with the interviews? He says, lots of laughs, yes. Christy says to Anne, good to see you, my friend. Nancy says she can't remember why she goes into rooms. Well, then she gets mad at me because I didn't remember that she told me that she had the pocket books or the books or something. Simply Debbie Sue says, yes, you could do podcast type videos and interview people. Who would I get to interview, Debbie Sue? Faithy says, oh my goodness, you have no friends, are we chopped liver? I didn't mean it that way. I think I said, you're my only friends. That's not true. Anne says, what am I, chopped liver? Oh, I don't think so. Joshua says we're going to be celebrating Halloween in a couple of weeks. And Nancy says she's had every scam on the phone. Fortunately, when they said they were kidnapped, they kidnapped my grandson. I don't have any grandchildren. I just told them I had their mama tied up in the garage. Oh, that's great. Faithy says, right on, Ann. Woody, I am not going to wear a costume on Halloween. You know why? Because I'm not even going to be here. I have to consult with you guys because Ann and I are going away on a little vacation. We're going to the White Mountains. We did it last year. And I'm trying to process how I can do videos with you guys and share our trip while we're there. But I don't know how to do it. So I might have to just film videos before. Woody says yes. hit the like button. She needs the money to pay her property taxes. And he's my chopped liver. Fried chicken liver for me, Pat says. No more squirrel head. Oh, Pat, that's disgusting. Laura wants to know if Quinny will have, or Otis or Quinny will have Halloween costumes. I don't think Quinny will have one. I tried to put reindeer ears on her one at Christmas, and she didn't like it too much. Penny, what state do I live? I live in Maine. You're in Wisconsin. Otis scares all the trick-or-treaters away. Hi, Kim. Kirky. Oh, no, never mind. I'm wrong. Kirky Carlotta. I'm glad you're here. I was wondering where you were. Laura Howard says, weren't you going to interview your grandson, the young man doing the missionary work? I may have heard that incorrectly. No, you did not hear that incorrectly. What happened is he was all set to go. He was here the day that he was going to record it. And he got busy with other stuff, fixing my computer and everything. And then when he went home, he called me and he said, Nana, I don't think I'm going to do it. And I said, why? He says, I just don't think it would be a good idea. And I said to him, I said, you would potentially have 1,000 people listening to you do a little testimony. And I didn't actually say that to him. That's what I was thinking. But I thought I'd give him some grace. Anyway, he chose not to do it, but he says he wants to be a missionary. So we'll see. He's doing really good. He has definitely prays a lot, and he runs a Christian group on his campus. Pam says, it's almost Canadian Thanksgiving here. I wonder if it's because our harvest time is earlier than many places. Anne says to Christy, the story about how we met is a good one, and she's thankful for me. She owes me a lot. That's not true. You don't owe me anything, but I probably will not tell the story because it's, they have HIPAA laws. That'll give them a hint. Connie says we can wear costumes for Halloween before you leave. Joshua wants to know, what dog is she? She is a Great Dane, and she weighs 145 pounds, and she's a good girl. Well, Faithy, she says that I should interview Anne, but that I have to be kind and not bossy because they'll be watching. I have asked Anne if I could interview her. I have asked her if she would be. Anne is she's bashful. She has all those hang-ups that we talked about early on. She doesn't do what I say. She doesn't follow my advice. What can I say? AJ Wells is watching from work. If your boss comes in, ask her to subscribe. That's what you're supposed to do. Lady Luger was in Maine once 5 years ago for her son's wedding. His bride is from Bridgeton, Maine. A beautiful state. Yes, it is. Pam says, AJ Wells, you're living on the edge. Give him some grace, yes. Woody insulting. He says, just put your hair up and put on a black pointed witch hat. I should get one of those bulbous noses. I think, who's the one who suggested that, wondering where my props were? I think I'm going to go back to that. For Halloween, Karen says all you have to do is put a cowboy hat and ride Quinny around the neighborhood. That's funny. Oh, Joshua is reminding us that Christmas is coming. 2 months. We're not that far off. You can say that again. Faithy is laughing at Woody. Or she's laughing at what he said, not at him. We need 4 more likes. Paula says one of her Amazon purchases is on its way. It was delivered. It'll be delivered later today. She's excited because it's a hand warmer and massager for her arthritis. I wonder if those work, Paula. Have you used them before? You know, the other thing that I was wondering about is, do those paraffin things work? You know, you stick your hands in the warm wax, the melted wax. Woody says, as far as interviews, you need to go to the local Walmart and walk around pushing a cart. I should do that and ask them if they watch YouTube and get them to sign up. Now, somebody just said, Janine says, that plant behind you is huge. Well, yes, it is. And it's my friend Ann who gave it to me. And when she brought it over, she said, well, where do you want me to put it? I said, I have no idea, because I don't know. You see, I want things and then I don't know what to do with them. So I said, I found a place for it. But then I put it over there because I put my pictures under there. So I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I elevated it so it's up. And then Woody got into the mix and he said, no, you can't do that to your pictures. They will get ruined. The water will get in there. You have to hang that plant up someplace else. So and then he said, you need a pedestal stand, and you know what? I have one in my bedroom. So I'm going to bring it out and use it. Faithy says, Woody, don't encourage her. She'll accidentally bump into carts to start a conversation. Well, the only one here that's ever been with me is Anne, and she knows that I talk to everybody that I see. But I think that I'm actually bashful. Debbie Sue says she needs to stick her whole body in paraffin wax. You could use it as a hair remover, Debbie. Sandy C said she just got her Allure beauty box. What's that, Sandy? Anne says the paraffin wax is wonderful. She's used it before. Why? Anne, why don't you use it now? I haven't heard you talk about it. You should put your foot in it. Woody, yes, I'm going to do that. Janine wants to know, does your cat eat the plant? No. I know a lot of cats do eat plants. That's why Anne gave it to me. She has 2 cats. And she says they eat the leaves. My cats, I've had cats all my life and I've never had a cat's. Laura said, I used to have a waterbed. The heated water helped with aches and pains. I have to tell you a story, Laura. My second husband and I had a waterbed, and we had it for a long time. Then, after my husband was gone and I decided to try the boyfriend route, he had a waterbed. But the heater was broken. And I said, I'm not sleeping over here anymore. It was the weirdest thing. Who is Anne? Joshua wants to know who is Anne. Anne is my very, very, very good friend. Janine says she'd be asking everyone in Walmart to subscribe. It is. That's how I got all of you. No, all those people that I ask, they don't make a difference in the subscribers. It's just so much fun. Remember that time the woman came on and she said, "Hi, Cynthia. I'm the lady from the office, the waiting room." That was funny to me. We have to think of things to be funny. Evie says she loved her waterbread. Well, Faithy, you won't see it tomorrow on a pedestal, but you might see it the next day. Paula's cats eat flowers and plants. Oh, Lorelei, she's here. Lorelei, I talked about you before, and everybody's praying for you. Woody, you need to delete that comment. JB says, "Hi, Cynthia. Hi, everyone. I'm just jumping on real quick before getting back to work. So good to see you as always. Hi, Joshua." Nancy says she never had a cat that eats plants, and she has over 50 houseplants. Evie, she says hi to Lorelei. Janine says, yes, I need another viral video. Yes, Janine, I do. Because I say it doesn't matter, but sometimes I get discouraged because the subs are kind of just holding their own. I win some and I lose some. Lady Luger says, wasn't it Anne's garden that we got a tour of? Yes, that was Anne's garden. Noticed you didn't see Anne, and she complained that I showed her hand. So that's what she's like. Anne O'Neill. Hi, sweet Cynthia. Greetings from Anne in Georgia. Now, who in their right mind, like me, would ever quit doing a YouTube channel when people say things like that? Hi, sweet Cynthia. How awesome is that? Thank you, honey. Lorelei, we already got that covered. Lorelei just wanted to request prayers for her dad, who suffered a stroke last week. Christy says we are all praying, Lorelei. Laura says hugs, Lorelei. He's in a beautiful rehab facility, Lorelei's dad. That's good, because some of them are not that great. Nancy says everywhere she goes on YouTube, she talks about me in the comments. That's very nice. Thank you. I really appreciate that. As you can tell, I need all the help I can get. And we're a very good community. I'm so happy everybody is loving Lorelei. I have goosebumps. Nancy says how great the channel is. How come they don't subscribe? I don't get it, because it is fantastic. if I do say so myself. Well, it's not that it's fantastic, but it's real, right? That's supposed to be what it's supposed to be on YouTube these days. Evie says, Nancy, you are so sweet, and I deserve it. Thanks, Evie. You're pretty sweet yourself. Do you all go to Evie's channel? She should have said that so that I'd promote her channel. She has a great channel, and she has a beautiful bird, a beautiful blue bird named Chloe, and she takes that bird out in a backpack on a walk. Now that is dedication. Nancy says, everyone needs to talk about my channel in the comments. Would you please invite people to come over here? Because if you're watching a channel, it must be similar to this channel. Or if you're interested in a channel, maybe other people are interested. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Woody says, I worry too much about subscribers. I don't actually. I don't really worry too much. Sometimes I do. It hurts my feelings. You know, what can I say? I'm just human. He says it's supposed to be fun. It's a blast. Can't you tell that I have fun? Nancy's going to check out your channel, Evie. Debbie Sue took a page from my book and told the nurse at the doctor's office that she's on YouTube. Did you give her your channel name and get her name and make sure she wrote it down? You should have had her look it up right while you were there. Debbie Sue has a fabulous channel. She writes stories and poetry, and she writes beautiful things on this channel. And I try to share them. You need to go over to her. She does a short story. They're very short. And so it wouldn't kill you to watch them. And they're very entertaining and they're really good. So her name is Simply Debbie Sue. Matt, hi, Cynthia, made it this time. Christy says, I'm starving. Ask what's for dinner. Ask Woody, he's the cook. Pat says, Lorelei is inspiring. And she says, thanks. It's almost time for us to go. Oh, it is time to go. Debbie Sue is going to make some cards and spread them around wherever she goes. I think we should probably get off now because we've talked enough. Do we have enough likes? Did everybody check their subscription and make sure that they're subscribed? Please. Woody made tuna casserole last night. Bye. Lady Luger suggests that I get some business. I'm going to do that because I should have done it a long time ago. I got to stop now because I'll talk all day, you know. Goodbye. I'll see you next Tuesday.